Remaking a beloved classic is always a delicate dance. How far should you stray from the original before it loses its soul? How do you honor the source material while adding fresh creative touches that make it feel modern? Everyone has their own answer to this puzzle, but Konami's approach with Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater was clear. Stay fiercely loyal to the original. This remake of the iconic 2004 stealth action game, originally crafted under the visionary Hideo Kojima, keeps the heart and essence intact, updating only its visuals to a stunning, modern sheen. It's essentially Snake Eater as you remember it, but dressed up in next-gen graphics. And that enduring blend of old-school stealth mechanics and Cold War espionage storytelling, it still strikes a chord nearly 2 decades later. After all, the way the game concludes makes it hard not to feel that nostalgic affection for Metal Gear Solid all over again. If you've experienced Snake Eater before, there's almost no mystery here. The story remains just as captivating, weaving melodrama with quirky absurdity against its backdrop of Cold War-era political intrigue. Long cutscenes brimming with theatrical political drama? Check. Character-driven larger-than-life figures? Absolutely. And the refined cinematic style soaked in classic spy thriller vibes? Unchanged. You could line the remake up alongside the original, and the two would sync perfectly. Fans will be pleased to hear that David Hayter's iconic gravelly snake voice returns, delivering his signature questions that mimic the last thing heard on the codec conversations. Familiar gameplay touches remain. Item boxes are still placed in the same spots, and guards still drop these boxes when held at gunpoint or taken down. The terrain layout sticks rigidly to its original sections, separated by brief loading screens, ensuring Delta captures the essence of Snake Eater, as players will call it. Coming into this, I had my reservations about the switch to Unreal Engine 5 and the visual overhaul. After powering through a dozen hours and even completing a full stealth, no-kill run, my feelings are mixed. The new photorealistic sheen does sometimes smooth over the original's stylistic quirks, but not completely. There are moments when some of the campier elements, like Ocelot's intense calls for backup, or the supernatural flair of the Cobra unit's abilities, lose a bit of their charm in this higher fidelity. These elements felt whimsical in the past, but now appear slightly uncanny. Yet, chopping them out would leave the game feeling incomplete. They are woven into the fabric of Snake Eater. Fortunately, the trade-off is worth it because the environment upgrades truly shine. The dense jungles and sprawling mountain ranges now feel more immersive, packing a richness into each isolated zone that the original hardware couldn't quite achieve. The cutscenes especially benefit from the polished visuals, offering a prestige-level cinematic experience that perfectly matches what many gamers nostalgically imagine when remembering their first awe on the PS2. In essence, the soul of Snake Eater lives on, now dressed in contemporary graphical finery. Konami also thoughtfully preserved classic touches by including a legacy-style camera angle that mirrors the traditional bird's-eye perspective, along with the original control layout. While this nostalgia-packed mode is a welcome feature, I found the new style camera, an over-the-shoulder modern view, to be the superior way to experience the game. It provides a fresh perspective without detracting from the original gameplay intent, something validated by re-releases like the 2012 3DS version. Playing in this mode also highlights the new level of detail close to the ground and, combined with added accessibility options, makes the experience smoother and more inclusive. The flexibility to mix legacy UI visuals with the new style camera further demonstrates the developer's willingness to tailor the game to different player preferences. Surprisingly, one of the most impactful tweaks for me was using the color filters. Choosing the legacy filter over the default sterile look brought back the familiar atmospheric palette that longtime fans cherish. What truly stood out in this remake was how refreshingly old-school the stealth action still feels. In a gaming landscape where series like Splinter Cell, Thief, and even Metal Gear itself have faded from the forefront, playing Snake Eater reignited that classic puzzle-like stealth experience. Each level is a thoughtful challenge, where guards and terrain become obstacles to navigate and your limited equipment forces creative problem-solving. It's a reminder of what defines Metal Gear gameplay: a blend of carefully planned maneuvers and quick improvisation when things go sideways. Whether it's distracting guards with dropped magazines or surprising enemies from a cardboard box, the thrill of slipping past detection or pulling off a flawless no-kill run remains satisfying. While I still admire the emergent gameplay of MGSV, The Phantom Pain, this remake's focused scope offers a nostalgic throwback, highlighting the essence of what made Metal Gear Solid so compelling. The camouflage system returns unchanged, rewarding players who thoughtfully select uniforms and face paint to blend into different environments. Innovative when first introduced in 2004, it's a valuable layer adding depth and strategy that's rare in today's stealth games. Plus, a new convenience lets you quickly switch camo presets with one button, avoiding menu juggling. The injury and hunger mechanics are likewise intact. Snake needs regular bandaging and medical supplies to recover from wounds, and must hunt or find rations to stave off hunger that affects health regeneration. Though these features can feel tedious at times, especially the constant patching up, they're integral to the survival aspect that sets Snake Eater apart. Fun fact: many survival game mechanics common today owe a debt to this early innovation. The controls have been mostly modernized to better fit today's third-person standards, taking cues from MGSV's fluidity, improving CQC and character mobility. However, some original quirks remain, like Snake's occasionally awkward cover movements or stiff melee transitions, which can be frustrating but also part of the nostalgic charm. Higher difficulty modes offer genuine challenge and replay value, but inevitably, when compared to modern sprawling open-world titles, Snake Eater feels more compact and less complex. The enemy encounters are somewhat sparse, and the gameplay doesn't evolve significantly as you progress. Although tranq darting every GAR is a simple tactic, Metal Gear shines most when players treat it as a playground for strategic improvisation rather than pure shooting. Boss battles are another area where Konami seemed to play it safe, mostly replicating the original encounters rather than reimagining them. Some fights, like those against the Pain or the Fear, can feel dull and repetitive, requiring you to patiently wait for an opening. Yet others, like the legendary sniper duel with the End or the unique meta-narrative battle against the Sorrow, showcase the inventive spirit that once set Snake Eater apart. If you remember the old secrets and tricks, you'll be glad to know they all survive intact in this version. The story itself didn't need much change. It remains a timeless piece. Kojima and his team's heady mix of political intrigue and Cold War tension still captivates, even if it leans into some campy, over-the-top moments. But this earnest blend of government,